Acronis was founded in Singapore. I'm Singaporean, and I'm the founder and CEO and chairman. It's a mid-sized software company, hundreds of millions of US dollars in revenue, and we have 700 employees, about 300 people in R&D, and 23 offices in 18 countries. One thing which is something which I always remind in Singapore, we brought our headquarters back to Singapore in 2014 because we believe 50% of our business will come from Asia by 2020. We have actually announced that we're opening a large R&D facility in Singapore, which will be our most advanced R&D facility. We have a dozen people there assigned to that facility today, but we are planning to have about 150 people, 150 engineers by 2018. We cooperate with the top agencies here on that, and our goal, our vision is to make Singapore for data what Switzerland is for money. Acronis is successful because of its three award-winning products. The products are all about the same thing, about protecting data: Acronis True Image, Acronis Backup, and Acronis Access. And these products are based on very advanced technology, which allows us to be market leaders in a number of segments. Acronis Any Data Engine, including a lot of different high-end technology which we're developing for the past 13 years, covered by about 100 patents. And that core technology is actually about 1.5 billion lines of code. And we are protecting about 200 exabytes of data. That's actually quite a lot of data, which we protect today for about 5 million consumers globally, 500,000 business customers. We have 30,000 partners and over 300 OEMs. And actually, if you think about how many licenses we ship every day, just in 2014, we shipped altogether about 6 million OEM and 2 million licenses indirectly. So about 8 million devices were protected with new Acronis licenses in just 2014. So this is kind of a philosophical slide. It's quite clear for everyone today that the world is becoming digital, and every personal and business process is now conducted with data. So today you can still do business processes and personal processes without data, quite a lot of them, but as we move forward, more and more of those processes involve data, and there's a lot of trends which drive us to this. And I was thinking that there are these 4 basic things which are required for a person: air, water, food, and shelter. You need to have protection from elements. And we believe that data volume is exploding and data is becoming more and more valuable. Data spread across multiple devices and multiple cloud services, so it becomes more vulnerable. And so we believe that data is the 5th basic need in the future. You have to have access for data. You can survive about 3 minutes without air. You can survive about 3 days without water. You can survive about 3 weeks without food. We believe in the future there will be very short time you can properly survive and survive without data if you're a business and if you are a person, and that means data needs protection. You need to make sure that your data is safe, that you never lose it, that wrong people don't look at it, and so on. And Acronis True Image is the product which is our original product, which made our company as successful as it is today. We released the product for the first time in 2003, at the very day of the inception of the company, and it's #1 professional backup and tools for personal use. I want to remind you of the key features of the product. It allows you to back up entire computer locally or to the cloud and restore any of the files, any of the applications, any of the settings, any of the passwords to your hardware or to new hardware. It is very, very easy to use. You know, we recently went through a lot of comparisons with our key competitors, and our product is very, very easy to use. You just press a few buttons and all of your data is protected. And it's actually based on very advanced technology. Acronis Any Data Engine includes a lot of tools. It's not just backup, but it's also tools to handle data. It's about actually not just doing backup, but it's actually making sure that none of your data is lost. What we're announcing today is a new product, Acronis True Image Cloud 2016. It has 5 key new capabilities which we are very proud about. And of course, it's not only these 5 capabilities, there are hundreds of new features in this product, and we're going to continue to enhance the product as we go forward. These 5 capabilities is mobile backup, it's multi-device protection with online dashboard, it's personal cloud archiving, it is more and more optimized for the cloud with each release, and finally, it's optimized for Windows 10. So mobile backup, it's a pretty straightforward feature. We support iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Phone. We allow you to back up your photos, videos, contacts, calendars, reminders, and on Android also text messages. This is just the first release of the product. As we move forward, we will definitely protect everything you have on the device. You can then recover anywhere, and that means you can recover to a different device. It's actually here, migrate to new devices. So you can, for example, recover your data from Android to iOS, iPhone, and from iPhone to Android. You can recover critical files, you can recover full devices. It's available in Google Play and App Store today, and it's just very easy, it just works. This product allows us for the first time do a second thing which we're excited about in this release, which is a multi-device protection with online dashboard. We believe that the future is about protecting all of the data for your family or for your small business. And in most cases, when you talk about any unit of society today, whether it's a family or small business, you're talking about many devices. Even a single person today have multiple devices. I have at least 3, iPhone, iPad, and my PC. Many people have more devices to protect. And with this release, we allow you to do it through a single account. We allow to protect multiple computers and mobile devices for yourself or for your family or your home. We protect data on these operating systems, which are most commonly used: Windows, Mac OS, Android, iPad, iPhone, Windows Phone. And we offer the version for a single computer, 3 devices, 3 computers, 7 devices, and 5 computer, 10 devices, which we believe is enough for almost any family protection for any meaningful devices. And again, you can do it from a single online dashboard. You can see the status, you can get the reminders, you can do a restore, you can restore from any device to any device, and we're doing it all while preserving safety, privacy, and security of your data. The next thing, which is just the beginning of new generation features in our product, and we believe that the future for the product is to protect all of your files on all of your devices and all of your cloud sources in a variety of ways, is personal cloud archiving. With this thing, you can actually free up physical storage on your hard drive. You can move the large files and keep them only in Acronis Cloud. That works just perfectly in Singapore. In Singapore, the connection is very, very fast. And I don't know about you, I have 1.3 terabyte SSD in my PC. And even though it's 1.3 terabytes, by now I have 120 gigabytes free only, which is not so much. Every time there is new larger SSD available, I manage to run out of the space very, very quickly. Technically, you can delete the files manually from Dropbox or from iTunes or from Documents folder and so on and so forth, but it's very inconvenient to free up 300 gigabytes of space. I need to delete perhaps 200 movies. It's quite a lot of clicks, and you have to figure out which movies to delete, which files you use, which files you don't use, so it takes time. With this product, you can also view and access archive files at any point. You can restore them at any point, and you can sort them in your archive. Again, this is the first release of this feature. We intend to enhance it continuously every time we do updates for our cloud products over the next 12 months. Next thing, we make the product even better for the cloud. We have developed a proprietary upload methods to the cloud, which allows to upload very quickly. Again, if you think about Singapore, it's much less of a problem. In Singapore, even conventional upload is very fast. Uploading my 1.2 terabyte PC to the cloud takes less than 10 hours, and it happens in the background. And that's only one time. Then thereafter, I do incremental backups, which are just dozens of minutes if I do it every day, and perhaps half an hour if I do it every week. Now, another thing very important for cloud, we need to be secure, and we ever enhance our security on the back end, on the front end, and encryption. Private key encryption is available with each of our products. We support different encryption protocols in different countries. Well, obviously in Singapore, it's again less of a problem. We support AS256. All of the data is available on your different devices. You can restore any file to any device with the release version of the product. We do have a local data center in Singapore. In general, we have 14 data centers in 9 countries. And so almost on every continent, the upload and the download are very quick. And technically, you're not breaking any laws. You keep all of your data within the borders of your country. For many people, for many businesses with compliance, for example, for doctors, it's important to keep the personal data in Singapore. If the backup is done, our data center is right here. And another thing which is important in this product, which is now becoming standard with every product of ours, we no longer are tied to our annual release cycles. Our core product, Acronis True Image Cloud, is a subscription, and we intend to release updates to the product almost every week. And as you continue to use the product and pay subscription, you will get to be on the latest version of the product with the latest enhancements available. Finally, very important feature for us, this product is a first product for us which is truly designed for Windows 10 and also designed for macOS Yosemite from the ground up. It fits very nicely into the new concept of the Windows 10. And it is important that when you upgrade to Windows 10, you need to do backup. And in fact, I've upgraded to Windows 10 just recently. I realized that Windows 10 is not the most stable operating system I would have expected from Microsoft at this stage. And so not just doing upgrade during backup, but doing upgrade after, backup during upgrade, but doing backup after you did the upgrade makes sense. How many of you guys use Windows 10 here? Well, okay, there are a few. I do recommend to use Acronis True Image to make sure that nothing is lost. Windows 10 is interesting in many respects. Microsoft is always challenged to rebuild the operating system to the best of its desires, but it's also challenged to release it on time. And so there's a lot of features which are not yet mature. And so it makes sense to be able to do backup and come back to the previous versions. With a cloud backup, it's real easy. You don't need to buy any attached drive. You can back up to the cloud. You can restore from the cloud. And again, for most of you, backup to the local drive and backup to the cloud in Singapore will work at about the same speed. And with that, I wanted to invite Danny to do a short product demo. We didn't want to make it very long for this product because it's a simple product. The only one thing I want to point out here, we have 2 editions of the product. The traditional product, which is a local backup, and the cloud product, Acronis True Image Cloud, which allows both local and cloud backup. And of course, we push our customers for the cloud backup. We believe cloud backup is the right way to go. Cloud backup is the one which will be updated every week, and you will get enhancement and fixes and new features, and the product will grow as we move forward with your feedback as well. They just go, create a backup. Please don't really change any option, just do backup now to the cloud. It backs up to the cloud in the background. And then it keeps the backup updated with some default schedule, which is weekly. So you have every week an update to your cloud backup, and you don't need to do anything. And whenever you actually have a failure and you lost a file, or you couldn't find a file, you can go back to your backup. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen to everybody. And you can restore to another PC, you can restore a file, you can actually restore a file to a different device. So it's real easy. One of the things we believe it's very important for all this data protection is to be real easy. And on that point, I want to switch back to something a little bit philosophical. This is an Egyptian pyramid. And you know, what's interesting, if you think about Egyptians, you know, they have started at about 8,000 years ago. They have been pretty interesting people. They have invented this afterlife, and in their opinion, afterlife was about preserving everything there is to preserve about the person. And they preserve a lot of physical objects. They build this pyramid, and inside the pyramid there is a mummy of the pharaoh, which is effectively pharaoh DNA. And then there is a bunch of stories about his life. The stories are drawn and written on the walls of the pyramid inside. And then there's a bunch of objects from his life. There is a bunch of perhaps his servants and women and children sometimes in that place. And that is what is needed from the standpoint of Pharaoh to be resurrected in the next life. And the reality is that we believe that that's not what's needed. We believe that really data is what is needed. Everything is left from the business or from the person in the future is just data. And if we believe in singularity, and singularity is about making artificial general intelligence, making it possible to make a computer which behave in the same way as a human. In order to resurrect somebody like your distant relative in the computer, what you need is just to have all of his data. And so saving the data about your life, saving the data about your settings on the PC, about your applications, about your files, about your emails, about your messages, about your photos, about your DNA, about your videos, about videos which you have watched. It's basically creating your complete life record. And keeping it for the future, if we believe in singularity, is about being able to be sort of resurrected in some portion in the future. So it's actually a very philosophical thing, but preserving data is important today. It's perhaps not so clear that it is important, but it's going to be much more important in the future, and that's why we believe you have to back up to the future. I want to remind you what we talked about today. We are launching Acronis True Image 2016, the most complete backup solution for individual, family, and home office. And again, for the first time, we are officially not just personal use, but also family and home office. And there are some exciting features in this release, such as mobile backup, which effectively enables the second feature, multi-device protection and online dashboard for multi-device protection. You can protect all of your devices. You can protect all of your data. And I can disclose a little bit of the future where we go into is that we intend to protect every piece of your data. So we intend to protect cloud sources of information as well. And it's, of course, optimized for the cloud. I believe the only way to keep the information intact, safe, private, and secure for prolonged periods of time, not for 1 year, not for 10 years, but perhaps for 50 years, is to keep it in the cloud in a professional place. And Acronis is not just about solutions for consumers, but it's also solutions for businesses. Acronis Backup, Acronis Access, Acronis Disaster Recovery. What is the benefit for personal use is all of our solutions for personal use that are based on the advanced functionality we develop for small, medium, and very large businesses. It's all based on the same technology, Acronis Any Data Ranger. And with that, I suppose I need to open the floor for questions. Katya?